What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Aftersound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. All right, guys, another answering your comments video. Yeah, I know I'm super behind, so I do apologize if I skip through a lot of the questions today. Again, I'm going to get to everything, but especially for the comments that are a little bit shorter in nature, I'll try not to do too many deep dives, but again, I just want to say I appreciate everybody who comes in, takes the time to leave a comment, salty or not. It's just, like I said, it's fun for me to do this. So let's start here. This is going all the way back to the video about cards are trading under their burn value. This is Pilak saying it's really hard to tire capital for a potential 10 to 20% gain when Pepe, Notcoin, and other altcoins are mooning right now. Yeah, I mean, look, Pepe and all these other meme coins, again, that to me is just gambling. Granted, something like Splinterlands is just gambling too, if you think about it, right? And again, not Splinterlands, but like literally every crypto is just gambling. But I get the appeal of meme coins. It's just, to me, that's like playing the slots. And I'd rather play something that has a little bit more, I don't know, entertainment value, right? So maybe if I was to go with that same kind of thing, same kind of metaphor, it'd be like poker or blackjack or something, right? Where I can have a little bit more agency within that. International Travel Channel, thank you so much for the comment. Apollo says, this is about the unlocking Soulbound reward cards. So they are not free. Can we stop saying reward cards are free? You pay to buy cards to play. You pay to buy SPS to stake. Reward cards are exactly that. Rewards for our investment of time and money. You worry about Soulbound holding value when all the other cards are tanking. It's a kick in the nuts asking us to pay to unlock cards we have earned. See, and here's the thing, Apollo. I get where you're coming from, but this is all coming from the paradigm. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm so sorry. I just hate editing videos, and that was going to drive me crazy. So, Apollo, this is all coming from the paradigm of the idea of how things were versus where they're going in the future. And it's totally normal to not like where things are going in the future. I just don't see a way in which cards being unlockable or, essentially being dumped on the market for free the way that they were ever being a viable option for any project, really, right? Like it's so difficult unless you have significant buy-in. And these assets or these NFTs are just so difficult to attain and so rare, right? That's probably the biggest thing. I don't know that we'll ever really see that again, right? And I get where you're coming from. It's just they don't have the monetary value that they used to. To me, they still have the game value. And this is where we get into this weird like Web 2, Web 3 kind of mix because it adds value to your game experience, but it doesn't add value to your wallet. And I think a lot of people are really struggling with that right now, and I get it. Okay, so RK says, marvelous aerial rage. This is in response to one of these other videos. International Travel Channel, thank you so much for the DJ Khaled. Joffrey says, Aftersound, I appreciate you giving voices to the community. I appreciate your work. Don't take these comments personally. Not trying to be salty at you. Just frustrated with SPL. Hey, man, I've never taken anything personally. Definitely not from you. So, yeah, it's just we all need a place to come and chat. We all need a place to just talk through whatever's going on. So I'm just glad that there's a lot of folks out here similar to me or similar mindset to me in terms of wanting to, I don't know, in terms of just wanting to discuss where things are at. All right, so Mark says, LOL, the game is nearly dead and this content creator is always hyped. I wouldn't say that, but if that's what you get, it is what it is. There's some folks on here saying he's on salary. I am not on salary. I guess I am technically still contracting for the team, although I've been pretty public about this. I haven't had work in over a year with them just because they've had to cut costs. And the only thing I really did was create some music for them on the lore stuff. So, Team Phoenix Rising making a comeback. It makes me happy to see the fact that you are still watching these videos, even though I told you to leave. But, welcome back, Team Phoenix Rising, where it's all love here. But no, I don't believe I'm a paid shell. In fact, I think I'm hypercritical of the team, and I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of them don't like me just because I like to speak my mind here, even though I have the utmost respect for all of them, right, or most of them as individuals. I don't know everybody on the team, right, but everybody that I've gotten to meet or connect with over the past couple of years, they're fantastic individuals trying to make a cool game in a market that's incredibly tough, with a direction of a company that has definitely had some footfalls, we'll call it, right? Or missteps. So, at the end of the day, I don't hold anything personally against anyone. I think that they're all trying to create something cool, and I still think they're trying to create something cool. But for me, that is more of a personal thing of wanting to cheer them on as a friend or as an acquaintance, even if I disagree with them on maybe some of the perspectives or actions that they take. All right, so iHorse says, what we need is for Splinterlands to buy all remaining assets and burn a lot of them. Also, if Matt truly believes in his vision, well, then he can put his money where his mouth is. If he has faith in what he's doing is correct, he needs to sell all his crypto, mortgage his house to be invested in the game again. Then I will believe his words. He thinks he can extract millions and never invest again. Yeah, okay, so I get where you're coming from, man, but here's the thing. If the team had money to buy all the assets in the ecosystem just to burn them, wouldn't their money be better spent trying to, improve the game and bring more people in? Like, I don't know what the market cap for Splinterlands assets is right now. I'm sure it's hundreds of thousands, maybe a couple million. Again, however much that cost ends up being. I just think that it would be, we should just do some marketing for like millions of dollars at that point, rather than trying to have the company come in, save these assets, and not actually grow the game in any meaningful way. Tilly Tot says, sure, at this price you're talking $34 to max out a common card seems reasonable for new players. Again, it's about earning the cards, and here's the thing, what you're talking about in terms of new players, okay? These cards that we will be unlocking very soon are going to be like the Untamed cards. Now, is anybody crying about the fact that Untamed might be a certain amount to buy off the marketplace? No, because it's an older set, it's out of print, and if you want to get the card, you need to pay for it, right? But if you're here now, or if you're here during the time, you could literally earn it for free in terms of playing the game, right? Yes, I mean, there's a buying cost to be able to earn, but my point is that you get it from just playing the game. So, to me, this is not an apples to apples comparison, right? If you're looking at new players coming in, wanting to buy these cards and having to pay $34 to max them out, I mean, how much were some of those common cards for, like, and we'll talk about, like, clutch common cards, right? Ones that people actually want that are part of the meta. I mean, how much were those going for, especially when there was a lot more activity with new players coming in? We don't have any new players right now. So if the new players were coming in similar to what they were before, those prices were outrageous, or at least competitive. Sorry Smurf says, I've started to burn a lot of cards since I bought them in discount. Prices can't go lower than this. Oh, man, this is 13 days ago. This comment did not age well. I'm sorry, I Smurf. They already under their burn value with DEC at 0.0008. Yeah, we're at 0.006 now. Not even a peg, and I bought them all for less, just earning some few DEC. Man, I wish you the best. That's tough to read a couple weeks later. All right, so Sorry Smurf also says, CL cards were selling under their burn value. Me and some people bought them all under burn value. A lot of legendary cards. 12 of them, okay, plus epics commons. I bought everything that was under burn value because I had bids ready. I spent a lot of money, but at least I don't lose them if DC doesn't go under 0.0. Oh my gosh, this is tough. Sorry, I Smurf. I mean, I don't want to put you on the spot here, but I would love to get an update on what your game plan is and how you're looking at this, because sadly we did go lower, and this was just a couple weeks ago. All right, Constanza Bet says, one of the requirements to unlock should always be a similar type of card needs to be burned. This will prevent overinflated card supply from growing even more and help restore and maintain card values. Locked Soulbound cards should also become like starter cards with no earning power. This shit, okay, so there's two things here. I like the idea of there being only, a small subset of cards available for folks, and therefore you would need to burn. I think you need to have some kind of card inflation here or there in order to allow new players to come in. But again, this goes back to a very interesting idea of, imagine if the game could really only support like 1,000 players. But in doing so, each of these players was making a ton of money, right? Because the demand would be so high. These collectibles would be so incredibly rare, and we would be pumping a lot of that back into the ecosystem. It's good in theory, right? I don't know about in practice. I think it's difficult to parse that out or to play or game theory that out. But where you're coming from, I don't think it's necessarily a bad idea. I just think that there would need to be some kind of long-term solution to figure out how and when card inflation would happen. But I'm definitely not opposed to it, right? If you could mint new cards or unlock new cards with old cards, that's exactly what we would want, really. Why not said if you build it, they will come. I think that's just marketing propaganda, but you got to do some kind of marketing. Power says I'm doing the opposite, just taking what I can back now. All right, fair enough. Power is saying, have you looked into the Illuvium game? Yeah, I think I did one stream a while back, but it wasn't even like Illuvium Overworld. It was like I don't even know what it was. I did not enjoy whatever that experience was, but I know I need to get back into Illuvium, so I will be checking that out again soon. Powell says, I meant the ship sailed for Splinterlands, not for alts. I agree alt season is coming. Well, again, I know this is like 2 weeks ago, but alts are getting pummeled right now in this part of the market. So Dom says, should I trust Peps McGregor? No idea who that is. I hope I wish you the best in whatever you decide to do. Supreme Victory Network, no, I missed a stream. I know I did one random stream or a couple of random streams, and I'm looking forward to getting back to them soon. Or Sanders says, it's not a good sign. The only positive thing I can see is that all people who are selling are losing big and their cards are getting burned. It's a shame. If and when the pool of CL cards circulating will drop to a reasonable amount, and I say maybe we can hit the floor and start rising again if the game progresses. Yeah, I mean, the crazy part about this is the fact that we're at burn value or below burn value, and there's still over 2 million packs sitting on the shelves. Oh, sorry, not the shelves, but just like in circulation. So, yeah, I hate to be that guy, but like it could always go lower. Constantine, GG's. We are thinking the same. Okay, awesome. This is from the live stream that I did. Laura Kager says, congrats, Aftertown. That's the video. That was the video. You gave the best answers to the comments that were made, and I watched them all. Great to see you with your feet on the ground. Nice work. Keep it up. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Cahill says, I also ended 95 in the first round, and this is from that Ghost Card tournament at 185 reg, so I think they include all players not with 95, so instead of 210, 243. Okay, cool. Well, I still sucked it up in that second round, so it is what it is. Steve, good to see you, man. Yes, it should be a high unlock price, so we only unlock them if there is demand. Players who are here shouldn't need many. Players that come in will have to pay the price if the card is worth it. Mind you, my number is 15x. I wonder how you got to 15x. But again, see, I agree with you on that. I think you and I are the same mindset. It's if new players want to come in, they got to buy them from us. And if they're going to buy them from us, these things should have value. I don't think people understand. It's just like, okay, if I want to unlock them, then I can sell them. But you're going to be competing with all the bots and selling them for pennies and be like, well, what was the point of that, right? What was the point of doing that? Whereas now you'll have to put forth the same amount that a bot would have to put forth, right? And that's only going to happen if there's demand. And so I don't know what's going to happen if there is demand and what the bot farms that have accumulated a bunch of these cards will decide to do. But I think that puts you in a much better position because you would be willing to make that sacrifice if the ROI was there. I mean, so would the bots, right? But again, that's going to be such a dynamic thing. I mean, obviously they could probably make some kind of software for it, but they're managing probably hundreds of thousands of cards, whereas you have one. So Postbeat says, I loved your words at the end of the video. You appreciate the ecosystem for what it is. No idea whether it will succeed or not, but you're in for the ride. Splinterlands is the same for me. Absolutely the most intriguing game narrative in my life by a long shot. Well, I appreciate the feedback. Yeah, I mean, look, I've tried several of the games. I'll be honest with you. It's funny that, this is a gaming channel, and I'm not really a gamer. I think I've been pretty clear about that before. What's always intrigued me is the game economy here, and I still think that there's really interesting things happening. I've explored other game economies. I've explored other tokenomics, and I'm not saying that Splinterlands is the best or the worst. I'm just saying that it's intriguing to me, and I'm also like super wrapped up in it. I'm obviously emotionally attached now because of the fact that I got to be a part of it to a certain extent. I got to know people on the team. I got to know people in the community, and yeah, I don't know where it goes. I honestly do not know where it goes. I mean, this could all go to zero. Matt is actually very publicly asking the DAO for help and money now, and I don't know. That seems like not a good thing, right? That seems like not a great thing at all. But for me, it's just like, it is what it is, man. Like, if you are worried about where things are going, I think you need to de-risk. And if you're sitting here complaining about how the returns of Splinterlands suck compared to other games and projects, just know that I have agreed with you. I have been agreeing with you since the beginning of this year, saying that I think 2024 and 2025 are going to be fantastic for crypto gaming. And I don't know where Splinterlands is going to sit on that, but I hope that it will be a part of some kind of run. I don't think that it's going to lead the charge the way that I thought it would back in 2021, right? We were so far ahead of the game. Tails calls us out all the time, but, you know, like, we just had such a head start on so many other projects. And granted, Splinterlands didn't have that VC backing and that money, but you know, there was just a lot of missteps over the bear market, and now you're seeing a lot of the other projects that maybe didn't have those missteps, didn't have the baggage, and are now starting to deliver like really awesome experiences. And I believe that they're going to lead the charge. And my hope now is just that Splinterlands will be able to go along for the ride. Steve says, man, you give so much energy to the haters. I would say stop, but some of it is gold most of the time. I'm just trying to respond to everything. If they're going to leave a comment and it's at least, you know, somewhat respectful, I will respond to it. All right, so Logan says, if you're betting on DC getting back to peg, maybe better to buy DEC. That's been one of my favorite trades, not financial advice, but that's been one of my favorite trades over the past couple of years, just because, you know, I think the team needs to do whatever they need, whatever they can, whatever they have to get DEC back up to peg. I am shocked personally to see it down as low as it is. At the time of this recording, I think it's in the 600 Splintoshi range. So I didn't think that we would get back down here. I know that we've been down for a while, maybe the last 3 months, ever since all that Gladiator card burning. But to see it where it's at now is shocking even to me. And so, yeah, I don't know. I mean, don't take advice from some random people on the internet. So Michael says, totally agree. Maybe they shouldn't give out so many. You know, I do wonder what the inflation rate is now. I don't know if they'd be able to share that with us because I have not been tracking it, but I wonder what they would be able to offer in terms of statistics and from as soon as the Glint shop went live, and all of a sudden all these top accounts, all these like champ level accounts no longer needed to get cards. They probably just started hoarding their Glint, which means that all the chests that they were getting for, you know, dailies and seasons, that should have slowed down inflation a lot. And I'd be very curious to see what the inflation rate for the Rebellion cards is from the get-go now that we have the Glint shop. So we'll watch that hopefully, I don't know, in a couple of months whenever that goes live. All right, so Team Phoenix Rising. All right, here we go. As usual, Aftersound offers no solutions. Sure, nerf the rewards again. Hope you are happy. Man, I think I give some really good ideas here. Are they all bangers? No, not all, but I like to throw stuff out there even raw, just because if somebody can take it, poke holes, and make it better, I'm all for it. But once again, I disagree with you. That's. I mean, maybe you think it's not a solution, but then again, I'm not in a position to be enacting any solutions anyway. I'm just trying to give ideas. All right, Tail says a simple solution would be to make it such that Soulbound reward cards don't earn in ranked battles. Unlock Soulbound reward cards can. Tournaments and brawls are still available for both. There's a video on my channel from over a year ago suggesting it. It's the model that Parallel is currently using. You know, I'm not against this, Tails. I think it's a radical idea. And it would force everyone. It would literally force everyone to have to pay up a lot more to use the cards that they love. Like, for example, I don't know what I would do without Coastal Sentry, right? Or Izzyar. And I would need to have those cards in order to stay competitive. I would still have them, to your point. I would still have them, but I would shy away from using them if I was not going to get rewarded, if there was going to be a penalty for using a ghost card, right? I don't think it's a terrible idea. I just think that it would have needed to be communicated like a long time ago. And sure, I mean, they could pivot things out on us now, and that could make things interesting. But I don't know. I mean, I do like the parallel model. The problem is we can't, in my opinion, we can't pick and choose what we like from the parallel model because it just doesn't make sense. If we're going to go the parallel model, we should go all in as Mondroid, and probably you've talked about it in the past, where it's like every card should be available to everyone, right? Or to a certain extent, as a ghost card. So people can get the full experience of playing. They can rank up and see what the game is like if they enjoy it, and also see how good they are at it. Then, if they want to earn, they can go in and buy the cards necessary. That's what I really like about the parallel model. It would be such a cataclysmic shift for us. I think we'd lose a lot of folks along the way, but who knows? Joffrey says 1.5 million rewards in Illuvium over the next 4 weeks. You guys worry about unlocking cards while I grind these dollars. Let's go. Well, it looks like it's already 2 weeks in, so hopefully you're making some good cash. Compy TV says, there's only ever a problem if there's negative growth. This is an economy more than a game. Once people understand this, they will finally know what to do. Well, I mean, what do you suggest? There's no growth right now. Avox says, crypto by large is a joke. Couldn't agree more. Stuff has value 5 or 10x, whatever, compared to non-crypto equivalent. As for reward cards, it's not like other card games that are thriving, mind you. Don't give them out for free as well. Technically, they can be bought or sold, but also not crypto related. As for Splinterlands, it's surprising that it still doesn't boast an attractive way to spend money for rewards yet. Thinking of Hearthstone Arena, Gods Unchained, all the tournament events are for pennies when people play with decks costing thousands. Like, just why? You'd be able to spend $25 in MTGA for a chance to win 2.5K, and it's so strange that Splinterlands doesn't have something remotely equivalent to that. Well, I think the big thing is that you're always going to have issues with anti-competitive behavior. The game is just botted like crazy, or the battle helpered like crazy, that I don't think anybody would ever want to put big money into this, knowing that it could be scooped up by bad actors. So whether that's sponsors coming from outside, whether that's the DAO, whether that's the team, that's probably the main answer to your question. And, you know, for those who were able to attend Splinterfest and got to see the magic of it, maybe that's why, like, you guys always think that I'm just like super hyped. But it's like I saw the potential of what it could be as like a live game played between people, on stage or whatever the case is. Obviously, it wasn't on stage, but point being that the game is fun and it can be competitive. It can be super competitive and fun in that way. It's just there's no safeguards when it's 2 random usernames online. So let's get to the rest of the economy here. To solve the reward card problem, or rather SL economy, would be to make it more like non-crypto games. Well, I feel like that's the direction we're headed. Soulbound reward cards should not exist. Crypto games are where people throw away money for a game that's far less fun compared to existing alternatives. And technically, if people want to earn, they can play MTG Arena and compete. The few cents people get from playing the game with renting is somewhat comparable to third world wage, I guess. The devs shouldn't care about the economy. It should just exist, just like how people can buy gold. Okay. Well, look, there's a lot. You covered a lot in here. I will say this. I never got into like the Candy Crush, or I played Clash of Clans and stuff for a while. And granted, I played it because it was fun, right? Or at least I enjoyed it for whatever short period of time that I was playing it. Never spent money in it, actually. Oddly enough, here I am spending money on Splinterlands, which, again, I it's that same kind of quick hit dopamine that, to me, has value in the sense that, yeah, I know it's pennies, but if I were to play any other game, I'd be getting nothing. In fact, I'd probably have to spend some to really get further along. So yeah, it's hard to toe the line of like investment versus game. I know that they're moving more towards game, or at least it seems like it. But just the ability to earn, sure, even like a third world wage. I talk about this, and I've used this example many times. If a game can be fun and offers value, and it's not like super difficult to get in, which Splinterlands may not fit that bill, right? Because it's difficult to understand, in terms of the meta, and then it's also like financially difficult to really become competitive at it. But if there's a game out there that could offer you a chance to make, enough money to get a cup of coffee or buy dinner in the first world, right? Not no, we're not talking like third world, but just like buy a cup of coffee or something. To me, that has value, right? Because you're competing then with the Candy Crushes of the world, where it's like, sure, maybe it's not as fun. Although I think the fun factor is going to dissipate much more quickly than people realize, right? We're talking about Splinterlands here, which is not trying to compete on fun. It's trying to compete on game economy. But there are going to be other games out there that I think can compete on fun. And if they have their tokenomics in the right situation or set up correctly, I think that there's opportunities where people could be making, again, $20, $30, $50 a month. And while that may not seem like a job, because it's not a job, it still has more value and it pulls people away from Web 2 once they get it. If there's a Web 3 version of Candy Crush, people are going to play that versus Web 2. Why? Because they're going to come in and be like, well, if I play this version of Candy Crush, which is exactly the same or very similar, and I get the same kind of enjoyment from it, I didn't have to spend a lot of money, and I'm able to buy a cup of coffee at the end of the week. That's awesome. Like, that's worth my time because I was going to play anyway. All right, RK says, auto like, thank you so much. Supreme Victory Network, it's the final countdown. You know what's funny? I just checked Peak Monsters for this, and there was another major consolidation. Looks like it's happening. All right, let me go ahead and we're already 26 minutes. This is crazy. So let me go ahead and close this video out. We'll do a couple more. How far are we from 11 days behind? We're still quite away. But there's a couple short comments here. Tails saying to take out the trash with that final bot consolidation. Erroneous says 6 million DEC was unstaked from land. Splinter cards used to say fit. Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of DEC unstaked from land. I actually know some folks who have been unstaking in a major way because land is just not delivering the returns that they were hoping for. So, it is what it is. All right, let's see. How long is this one? All right, so we'll end with Ola Art here. So not sure what can be done with bots in order to use them to pump SPS. Attempting to eliminate bots will only drive developers to create more sophisticated systems using AI that can basically mimic a human. By improving the gameplay experience, we can create a more attractive environment that naturally discourages the use of bots. So here's the thing that's, and I don't mean to get into a rant about this, or rabbit hole, I should say. With the whole bot ROI thing, the more successful that the game becomes, which I think we're all hoping happens, right? If SPS goes to 10, 15, 20, 50 cents, whatever it is, the bots will come back. I don't think people realize this is it for the long haul. It's not that we have to learn to live with them, but this is why I was always a big proponent of the team's approach to find a way to make it so it's not economically incentivized for bots to just come in and rape the game, right? They had to add some kind of value to it. And there's been a lot of things where it's just okay, they had to own the cards, then they had to stake the SPS or rent it from somebody who was staking that SPS. And now they're going to have to pay in wild in order to, just participate, which is going to cut into their ROI. But once again, if the rewards end up being really good, if SPS does activate, in terms of the flywheel, and we start to see rewards actually tick upwards, those bot accounts are going to come right back in because they're going to look at that and say, well, SPS is up to 3 cents now or 5 cents now, right? And all of a sudden my rewards are 5x and I'm making more than 2,000 DEC per season. So therefore, I'm going to run these bots and I'm going to run these bots and I'm going to take, whatever ROI off the top, right? Let's say they make 3,000 DEC per season. Now all of a sudden they're coming away with a clear, 1K DEC. And you might be thinking to yourself, well, okay, they're still going to extract that value. And you're right, but the burn impact of that 2,000 DEC or whatever it is per season for the wild permit, that's going to put forced buy or burn pressure, and then hopefully eventually buy and burn pressure on SPS, right? So there could be this fortuitous life spiral that it seems ever so elusive, and I'm not saying this is guaranteed. I'm just saying it could still happen, even with bot and player incentives aligned, right? That could happen. Will it? I don't know. I can't even dare to put a chance on it. It's just, if we see SPS rise above a certain level, I think we start to see many more people come in, whether they're humans or whether they're bots, happily pay the 2,000 DEC, which in turn starts to burn hundreds of millions of DEC, which in turn gets SPS to go up. Now, that that return starts to be less and less, right? Because all of a sudden it's just like, okay, buy pressure on SPS, but the higher value SPS is, the less you have to burn in order to mint that DEC. But either way, it could be interesting, especially if things get a little nutty like 2021. But that is all I have for you guys in this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And once again, thank you for all those who have left a comment. I will catch you all in the next one and see you around the game. Take care.